expensive pairs. I tried Vibram soles. I bought a lot of the cheap Kmart crepe wedge sole. This is a wedge sole boot with a mock toe, and I just never felt like I got a good compromise between price and quality, durability, function. I never really felt like I hit it. Moved to Las Vegas, framed for 3 or 4 years. Went to work for MS Concrete in about 1990, I think. As it happened, my first week on the job, I was at the end of the service life of the pair of boots I was wearing. And my boss, the superintendent, Drew Jolly, showed up and he had this brand new pair of boots on. He only had them laced up about halfway. You know, sometimes when you lace the top of a high top pair of boots, it kind of binds on your ankle, so you lace it up halfway for a few days. And I said, wow, Drew, where'd you get those boots? They look great. He said, these are Sears Die Hard. Scotty said, I've been buying these for 10 or 12 years. They got a great guarantee. At the time, I think it was pretty much a 1 year, anything happens, send it back kind of a guarantee. I think it's a little watered down since then. But he liked them. He told me what he paid. I think it was like twice what I was paying for the Kmart boots and half of what I had paid for the Red Wing boots. And I thought, wow, I'm going to try those. So after work that night, I went by Sears and I went in and I bought a pair and I put them on. And I have never put any other work boot on my foot for construction since. This is a most recent pair. This is a mistake, actually. Bought this kind of in a hurry. These are a 6-inch top. I like an 8-inch top. When I was doing concrete, I would be lucky to get 4 months out of a pair of these boots. And you say, well, 4 months is not much. Yeah, but they don't cost much. These Sears Die Hard boots cost between about $72 and $80, depending on when you buy them. That's less than a tank of diesel. I don't have time to oil these things up twice a week. I don't have time to nurse them along and make sure that I squeeze an extra lifetime duty out of them. I mean, if they last 5 months, I don't have time to strain to get 10 months. So let me tell you why I settled on these. And I got to clarify something. Now I get about 10 months, maybe a year out of a pair of these boots. I'm much easier on boots now. That really makes them a bargain. It's leather. The upper is leather. Now, I don't know the grade of leather, and the finish is a little hard. I mean, it looks good, but it doesn't look real good. But after a month, frankly, who cares? You know, the stitching, triple stitching, double stitching, heavy stitching. The only place the stitching ever fails, and it's probably failed maybe half a dozen times for me, is on my right foot, right there. Sometimes it opens up. I could probably have sent that boot back, but it was providing good service. Okay, it's padded. This is not a single layer on the top. Lots of cheap work boots are just a single leather. This is double leather, padded everywhere. A little warmer. This band on the top is nice once you get it broken in. For the first week or so, it hurts, frankly, until it kind of flattens out. On the downside, on the negative side of the ledger, compared to a Red Wing, this welt, you see that welt around there is plastic. I'm not bragging about that, but it only costs $72, okay? That makes it, I think, essentially impossible to resole. Now, I'm not a cobbler. I couldn't tell you for sure, but, you know, that is what it is. It's eyes all the way up. If you're a hook guy, and there are reasons to like hooks in the top half of the lacing, you're out of luck. But the eyes don't tear out. Let me point out to you what really makes this boot a value and really makes this boot, increases its utility, in my opinion, far beyond any of the other boots I've tried, including the expensive ones, for construction. I don't know exactly what crepe sole means. I mean, we've worn crepe wedge, crepe sole. It's white. It has a pattern kind of like this, and it melts away on concrete and on rock, but not this one. Can you see that? That there's two layers. There's this spongy white stuff that I have always referred to as crepe. I don't know what it's called, but it's soft and it flexes and it takes up the space. And then they've got this layer of some sort of a rubbery product, and this stuff is tough. Now, it's not hard, it's tough. Good traction. It'll hold you on up to about a 6/12 pitch. You get any steeper than that, particularly if you make the mistake of putting the wrong side of the OSB up, it won't hold you there. There are some tennis shoes that will, but this is good traction. It does not hold the mud. If you're in and out of the house, you can wipe these off. The more aggressive Vibram type waffle stomper work boot pattern, they're great outside thrashing, but don't make the mistake of wearing them into the house. You're going to have a real problem. These things clean, they stick, and they never wear out. Look at that. I mean, that boot's got some time on it. This boot has some time on it. I mean, the stitching is opened up there. Can you see that? That sole is essentially full thickness. How do you beat that? That extends the life of this boot. If you're a maintenance guy, if you oil these things, if you're not thrashing in the concrete and on hot steel and stuff, I have no idea how long that boot might last you, but it would be a long, long time, and it would not be the sole that wore out. A work boot has to protect you from the top side. It has to protect you from heat and penetrations and falling